Hello ladies and gents, welcome back. In this video I'm gonna give my thoughts about the upcoming semifinals at Cincinnati Masters. We have four guys, the final four, the last four standing so far, and those guys in the top half of the draw is Daniil Medvedev against Andrei Rublev and Stefanos Tsitsipas against Alexander Zverev on the bottom half of the draw. These four guys was actually my predictions, my top four list. So I said before in my preview that I think that these four guys has the best chance of reaching the semifinals, and now they have done that. All of these four guys has played great tennis, solid tennis, but you know that it's difficult to deliver on constantly basis, but these guys has managed to do that. They got a bye in all of their first round, so they entered the tournament in the second round. And the first match I'm going to talk about is the match between Daniil Medvedev against Andrei Rublev. Medvedev reached the semifinal by beating McDonald, Dimitrov, and yesterday he destroyed Pablo Carreno Busta 6-1, 6-1. He reached the semifinal by beating those three guys in straight sets, and he landed a lot of first serves in, and he won 92% behind his first serve yesterday against PCB. So he played flawless tennis. He played like he has done the last 2 weeks, but more solid because he took revenge against PCB after the loss at the Olympics. He really was everywhere on the court. He didn't miss as usual. He went and approached the net on many occasions and was very successful against PCB. PCB maybe didn't have his best days on court yesterday, but Medvedev made him look average yesterday. And there was really no talk about who was the best guy yesterday. He really convinced me even more yesterday by beating PCB that easy. I thought that he was going to win that match, but not that easy. So all credits to Medvedev for putting one foot in the semifinal. And now he's going to take on Andrei Rublev, who has struggled in two of his matches in this tournament. The first match was against Cilic when he dropped the set. He managed to fight back because Cilic is not a consistent player. He played great for one or maybe 1.5 set, and then he plays average tennis that we are not used to see him and that he has produced the last 3 years. So by all means, Cilic was not a super good test for Rublev, and in the third round he beat Monfils in straight sets. That doesn't give me any. That's not a value mark for me either, even though Monfils time after time can play great tennis, but we all know that his star is falling also. And then yesterday he met a newborn Benoit Paire, who took him to a decider. Benoit Paire can actually play tennis if he wants. He has a great touch, he has a great backhand, he has a great tennis mind. Not mentally, but tennis-wise, tennis skills-wise, he's a great player. And he has started to improve his forehand a little bit better. His forehand is still one of his main weaknesses, together with his mental toughness and his willing to produce that tennis that he has in his body and in his soul. He doesn't take out that. But now these 2 weeks at Cincinnati has played great tennis, and he played great in Toronto also. So Benoit Paire, he surprised me a lot, but I knew that he had this tennis in him. But since he has dropped on the ranking, he's trying and almost plays for his life. So by all means, great performance, quarterfinal. He will collect a great paycheck and a great amount of ranking points. So Rublev, how did he play in this match? He served great, and he has a lot of power from both his forehand and backhand. He managed to push Benoit Paire out of the court. He mixed up the game. He took care of his chances. He still wins a lot of 3 points on his first serve, and that is a thing that must continue when he plays against Medvedev. So And of course, he has to convert those breakpoint opportunities when he gets the chance against Medvedev, because between these two guys, they have met five times, 5 victories for Medvedev. He hasn't really. This is an easy matchup if you look at the paper for Daniil Medvedev, but it's a semi-final. Rublev have only reached one Masters final before, and that was at the Monte Carlo this year, where he lost to Stefanos Tsitsipas. So Rublev is trying to break that spell and take his first victory against Medvedev. But what does he has to do to win? To start with, he must rely on his confidence, of course. He has to serve great, and like he has done through the tournament, he has to win a lot of points behind his first and second serve. He has to still create that amount of power that he has from his both wings and push Medvedev back. Try to hit so many winners as possible. And then he has to have length and depth in his ground strokes. That's the important things. And he has to rush to the net and execute the points faster, because Medvedev, we all know, he is a wall. He's a ball machine. He can trade duels endless amount of times. I would not be surprised if Rublev can keep up with him if they play 20 plus, 25 plus rallies. And Medvedev, of course, he has looked so untouchable in his serve. If he still serves like that, Rublev will have even more difficult to get his teeth into his game. And of course, this is the main factor. Rublev needs to penetrate, especially he has to take time away from Medvedev, but that's so difficult because Medvedev is an all-round player. He moves so great on court. He plays great at the net. He plays great from the wings, and he serves so great. He has to serve wide out on his forehand and backhand when he has the chance, Rublev, to just take time away from him and execute and win the third point on his service game. And when Medvedev serves, he has to stand a little bit more far back from the court and just fish up those points so he can put the ball in play. But that's easier said than done. And to be honest, I think that Medvedev is the stronger dude. He's the more consistent dude. He's going to be the guy that does less unforced errors in this battle. And that's why I think he will win this match, because really, Rublev has done his job so far. He hasn't impressed me so much in this tournament. He has beaten Cilic, Monfils, and Paire. Those guys are not big title contenders anymore. Paire has never been. Monfils has been. But his best day has expired. Same with Cilic. So that's why I think Medvedev, who I believe is in his prime now, he has been that for a couple of months now, maybe a year, I would think that he will win this match. Not easy, but I think that he will still win in straight sets against Rublev and book a place in the final. And then we have another nail-busting, popcorn blockbuster match and that match is between Zverev and Tsitsipas. If you look at the head-to-head stats, we will see a thing that they have played 8 matches between each other, these guys, but it seems almost like a one-way traffic here. Tsitsipas has the upper hand here. He's up 6-2 in head-to-head against Zverev. Last time they met was at the French Open. It was a 5-set tough battle between them, a battle that Tsitsipas won. Tsitsipas won with the first 2 sets, and then Zverev managed to take the third and fourth set, and then Tsitsipas was the stronger dude in the end and won that match. And they met also this year at the Acapulco final. They have met twice this year, and Zverev won that final against Tsitsipas. And Tsitsipas has reached this semifinal by beating Korda in 2 straight sets, and then he dropped the set against Sonego, and yesterday against Aliassime, he dropped the set also. He had 2 match points in Aliassime's serve in the second set, but Aliassime managed to fight back and won that set. But in the first set, his tank was empty. Aliassime couldn't do anything. Aliassime has a great serve. He has a superbly great forehand, but he's too one-dimensional. He hasn't a plan B, a plan C. His game is very easy to read, and sooner or later, if you're a player named like Tsitsipas, who is a smart player who takes risk, he found a solution, a way to take the teeth into the match again, and won pretty comfortable in the third set. I think it was 6-1 victory for him. So after dropping 2 sets, playing a little bit sloppy time to time, his Tsitsipas' weaknesses are still his backhand and returns, still. But it can always get better. Against Sasha, he needs to find the way that he has played against him when he has won against him, and that is not give Sasha time and be brave. So what does need to work for Tsitsipas to defeat Sasha? First of all, of course, he has to serve great. He has to need to land those first serves numbers in. He needs to have a high number there. He has to still produce those winners from his amazing forehand. That is maybe his biggest weapon. He needs to play with variety. He has a great tennis mind, Tsitsipas. He needs to play and mix up the game. And of course, the third thing, always the braver guys, always, not always, but mostly the braver guys wins when he takes risk. And Stefanos Tsitsipas is not afraid of taking risks. So against Aliassime, he won 81% behind his first serves and 64% behind his second serve. But Sasha is not a terrible returner like Aliassime, who is an okay returner. He's not one of the best on tour, but Zverev is a guy that has great returns. He has a great, first of all, his first serve and second serve, if he keeps those numbers high, he's untouchable. Then another thing that people barely talk about when it comes to Alexander Sasha Zverev, look how he moves on the court. He moves smart. He doesn't need that extra time because he's always one step ahead, almost. And he is so consistent nowadays, so it's hard to get through Sasha. You have to mix up the game. Like most of people, you have to get him out of his comfort zone, and that's the baseline where he is playing his best tennis together when he holds the ball in his hand and is going to serve. If Tsitsipas can manage to do what he has done so successfully against Zverev, he will win this match. But after this Olympic gold, he is trying to shape up the head-to-head stats between them, and he is out there to reaching another Masters final at Cincinnati. And I don't know if he ever played a final here, but he has collected a couple of Masters titles in his career, and Tsitsipas, of course, wants to reach another final. These guys are winners. They don't want to lose. They have this fighting spirit. So, what can I say? If I have to predict, I will stick to my prediction like I did before this tournament. I think that Zverev will advance in a 3-set after beating Tsitsipas in a 3-set tight battle. But it can go either way. I give 52% to Zverev and 48% to Tsitsipas. That is my honest opinion, what I think. So Tsitsipas needs to work better on his return. He really has to be on his toe against Zverev, because we know how Zverev serves. He has to be on his toe and return great. And Zverev will try to take advantage of Tsitsipas' backhand. He will aim for that backhand. He will try to push him around the court and try to execute the points on Stefanos Tsitsipas' backhand. And Tsitsipas has to be awake. He has to stand a little bit far behind the court and make things happen from the baseline. He has to produce winners, like always. If you produce winners, you have an easier chance to seal the deal. And Zverev, he has to rely on his serve, of course. His serve will not have to. His serve will, if his serve cracks, he's doomed, because that's where he won most of his games, on his serves, most of the points on his serves. and then he can relax and try to figure out something to do in Tsitsipas serve and win, or break him and win the match. All right, guys, this is my semifinal preview of the two upcoming battles. Thank you for watching this video. Take care and bye bye.